Well, this is an interesting way to log into the server. Hmm. Oh, those poor sheep. Distinguished members of the Academy, my name is Golfhouse, and we are back on the mostly harmless SMP server. When last we spoke, we built all of this. Our house is mostly complete. A few little touches here and there. We'll need some track lighting up there, but we have to get into the nether for that first. But for the most part, I think our spawn village house is done. Since we last spoke, however, tragedy has befallen the server. Somebody, as you saw in the intro, has gone on a murderous sheep rampage, and they even threw in a rabbit for good measure. It appears that 54 of our woolly friends have perished to this threat. There were signs out here that claimed that it was Laura Ellen who lives over there. And then there was another one over here that says it wasn't her, and that the real culprit was Knackjack, who lives in the mountain. Personally, I think they're both to blame. Unfortunately, I have no proof of that, so I can't claim vengeance upon them. However, I think it's going to be our duty as the self-appointed friend to all the sheep to make sure that the community is made aware of this menace and has an appropriate amount of sympathy for the lives that have been lost. Since we last spoke, there have been quite a few changes around here. As we talked about briefly just a second ago, Knackjack, one of our server members, who is also one of the YouTubers, has built himself a nice little home here. We see he's got an affinity for snowmen. I wonder how he would feel if somebody killed his friends. Next to him is Laura Ellen's abode. If you haven't been watching her videos, you probably need to, because her place is really nice. I'm really digging this little Zen garden that she's got in the middle of the house, and how the tree just kind of goes up through the holes in the roof. Although we have found that this is a great breeding ground for creepers. I was trapped in her basement a couple of Minecraft days ago because one had fallen through and kind of chased me down here. We've also started to see a little bit more action elsewhere on the server. A couple of our, well, I guess we won't talk about that, will we? Before I was so rudely interrupted by thunderstorm-induced connection problems, I was talking about some of the other things that have gone on around the server. Laura Ellen managed to put together a fairly nice XP farm with a zombie grinder that she found, and I think, yeah, so it's a very simple one. You've probably seen similar farms of the type. In this case, we're using a rapid deployment of lava. That is loud. Better. So we've got a rapid deployment of lava, setting the zombies on fire, bringing them down to roughly one-hit kills, and then there is a hopper down below that picks up their stuff. It's mostly rotten flesh, and it's mostly stuff that we really don't need. But it is the best thing that we have going today for experience levels, and that's going to be important for us in our efforts to make the community aware of the tragedy of sheep loss, because we are going to name every single one of those pieces of cooked mutton, and hopefully we can make people realize what a tragedy it is to lose that many precious sheep. Before we can go through the process of naming all of our fallen sheep brothers, we're going to need an anvil. There is already an anvil on the server over by the enchanting table, but somehow I have the feeling that others on the server won't appreciate us taking 54 hits off of that anvil for the purpose of naming mutton. So, we've started to engage in the time-honored tradition of poke mining. I don't even want that redstone. Right now, it's iron that I'm after, and lots of it. So I'm really only here for iron, but that will also do. Okay, so we are down here at the XP grinder zombie farm slash barbecue, and we are down here to get some experience because we are going to assign a name to each one of these pieces of mutton. I've gone ahead and I brought myself an anvil. I think I'm going to need to make another one of these because I think these have a limited lifespan and we've got a lot of mutton to go through. But before we do that, I thought I might add a little bit of character to the mob farm. Laura Ellen made the mob farm and it looks really nice, but I thought we might do a little bit of accent work with the new 1/8 blocks. It used to be the cracked stone brick you could only get once you found the stronghold where the end portal is. With 1/8, of course, you can craft these now. So I thought I would just kind of come through and every once in a while, I don't even wonder what that chest is. Hidden treasure, maybe? Anyway, I'll pretend I didn't see that for now. And just kind of go through and randomly replace some of the stone brick with the cracked stone brick. And that'll give it just a little touch of character in what might otherwise be a fairly sterile environment. Once that's done, oh, I screwed that up. Now those zombies are in the way. I'll have to take care of them. Tell you what, we're going to sacrifice that that stack of zombies there so that I can get that back in place, and then we'll go ahead and we'll start naming this mutton. And in case you were curious about what kind of a nerd I am, I went on the internet and I found a list of the top 50 names for sheep. Because if you're going to do something this ridiculous, you might as well do it right. Well, guys, anvils. They just don't make them like they used to. We managed to come up with names for 18 of these mutton chops before the anvil broke. So we've got a long ways to go. And this isn't even all the mutton. So I may have to rethink my strategy a little bit, because at this rate it's going to take like 4 or 5 anvils to name all of these. And frankly, we don't have that much iron to spare yet. The world border doesn't start expanding for another couple days, so we're going to have to make some decisions about just how detailed we want our commemoration of this sheep massacre to go. So I'm going to go down into the mines. I'm going to see if I can scrounge around and find a little bit more iron, maybe enough to make one more anvil, and then we'll probably call it from there and move on to putting this response together. So I've been looking at the landscape trying to find the right place for our sheep memorial, and I think it's going to be right here. This is in between Laura Ellen's house and Knack Jack's house. You can see he's up there. I don't know if he knows what I'm up to or not. But as you can see, it's not a lot of land and it's pretty much a crater. So I'm going to have to go gather some supplies. I'm going to have to get some dirt. I want to fill all of this in and make it fairly flat for our sheep memorial. And I think because of the space, I think the 17 or 18 or however many sheep we got named off of that last anvil are going to have to do. I wanted to name all 54 mutton, but there's not the space for it, and I don't have the iron for it. So we're going to make a smaller memorial, and I think that will get the point across. So I've got the area over there all cleaned out. Jack actually helped with filling it in a little bit. I don't think he has any idea what we have in mind for that area, but I think this is the basic framework that I'm going to use. We're going to have some polished, whatever that is, diorite, I think. I'm getting these confused. I can't tell the three, I can't remember their names. On a fence post with a sign saying, remembering the sheep's name, and then a fallen friend, or some other kind of alliterative reference. That means that we're going to need some item frames, because we're going to put item frames right there and stick the mutton on there as a stark reminder of who used to be on this server before either one of them, probably him, but either one of them did the dirty deed. Okay, so a little bit of cow slaughter later, and we've got 15 of the what we need, 17 leather. So before I thin the herd out too much, I'm going to go ahead and rebreed these guys. And I know what you're saying. I can hear you already, and I haven't even published the video yet. You're saying, Golf, seriously, you are losing your mind over somebody killing sheep, and yet you have no problems whatsoever with the wanton slaughter of cows? And the only thing I can say is yes, I am perfectly okay with that. You see, it's not even really that hard to explain. Cows are dumb animals. They're bred to be dumb. They're bred to be meat. They're bred for the world in which they live in, cooped up in pens, slaughtered for food. But the sheep, oh, the noble sheep, that is not a creature to be cooked up and eaten. It is a creature to be respected, a creature to be trusted. In some parts of Great Britain, a creature to do weird things with, but a creature that deserves fair treatment, not the type of treatment that it's been receiving here on this server. Okay, so this is going to be the basic kind of setup, and I'm not going to put this in any sort of geometric shape or anything like that. It's going to be mostly random for the 17 monuments that we're going to be putting up, because I feel like that epitomizes the sprawling nature of our woolen friend. And also, I'm just too lazy to come up with geometric shape. So we're just going to plop these down sort of semi-randomly, and then we're going to have a wall over here, probably that high, maybe a little bit longer, and we'll have torches and other kind of pretty things out to kind of indicate what's going on here. So let me go ahead and finish this, and we'll go ahead and get those item frames made, and then we can start putting up our monument to our friends. Okay, so our monuments are up, and now we have the sad task of leaving the remains of our friends in their final resting places. I also need to make some torches and kind of light this place up, because after all of the work that we've done, the last thing that I want is for creepers to come along and further disrespect the memories of our friends. So we're going to place these in, and then I'm going to go put the signs up and get them underneath. Although now I'm thinking about it, I don't even think I need to do that. That seems like a little bit of overkill. And did I miss a block, or am I one short? If I'm one short, I'm one short. There we go. Okay, so now we can go ahead and put up our signs, and we're going to put the signs up here, and they are going to say, "The Sullen Woolen, a memorial in remembrance of those sheep tragically taken by unknown assailants in the sheep shock of 2014. May our memories of their souls be as sweet as the sound of their bleats." And it's signed the Mostly Harmless Council, which right now is just me, mainly because I just made it up. For a little added incentive to get people to let me get out of F1 for a minute there. I thought I had lost the name tags. I was about to get really concerned there. As one last little surprise for anyone who comes to visit the monument, on the back of the entrance, we point out that to pay for the monument, a 2 diamond tax has been assessed by the council on all citizens. Again, the council is just me, because I just made it up. Anyway, I think this is a fitting tribute to those poor sheep who have lost their lives to scandalousness in our fair town, and I think it will serve as a warning for anybody else who dares besmirch our woolen friends that we will not forget. Off in the distance and through the rain is a new house on the server. One of my IRL friends, Commander K, has joined onto the server, and she's starting to put things together kind of back in the back there. She's not a YouTuber yet, but we're going to work on her. In the next episode, I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to clean this up. Don't need that anymore. We'll see how things go. We'll see what people's reactions to the sheep memorial are, and then we will continue to develop our spawn area. Jack has been kind enough to clear out a whole bunch of space out here in the courtyard and kind of flatten it out, so we've got a lot of room for some really neat things. I'm looking forward to seeing what everybody on the server does in the next few weeks, and I hope you are too. If you've liked this video, go ahead and click that like button. If you've really liked it, go ahead and click the subscribe button. If you really like me, stalk me on social media. I'm darn near everywhere. And until next time, my name is Golfhouse. This has been Mostly Harmless. It's an honor just to be nominated.